just the last few days, Messi may have pulled off one of the greatest marketing moves and even fooled KSI. 5 coffins draped in French flags mysteriously appeared by the Eiffel Tower. And warning, because the reason why gets pretty eerie. Instagram are now testing unskippable ads as you scroll. And oh my lord, if this is actually how World War III begins, I'm gonna be pissed. All of that and more in our Whip special episode. I think you know what I'm talking about, so let's get cracking. Okay, let's kick today off with this. Now, what you're seeing is heartbreaking footage of 3 friends hugging each other moments before they are swept away by flash floods in Italy. It's reported that the friends got into difficulties after going for a walk along a river on Friday afternoon. But as the water levels suddenly swept up, the group realized that they were trapped and they quickly started trying to notify whoever was around. And I mean, someone recorded it, and you'll see why that's so disturbing in a second. Let's continue. Firefighters were called and crews quickly arrived on the scene. And when the rescue group threw them the rope right before these 3 people could reach and grab it, the water became too powerful and swept them away. The 2 girls' bodies were found in separate locations about 1 kilometer down the river, and the search continues for the man. I mean, I don't even know why I decided to start the video with that. That was terrible. It's very sad. They at least died holding each other, their closest best friends, before they... It's even sadder. Alright, let's just move on. Okay, this next story is insane. Ikea. So Ikea is opening a store on Roblox, and they've just come out and said, we are going to pay people $17 an hour to serve people virtual meatballs. I know people with degrees that get paid less than that. Now, the job is completely remote, so they can just chill at home. And all that they really have to do is basically help other players who come into the virtual Ikea and just help them out with whatever they need to do. Which, let's be honest, is probably not a lot. And just to give you a little sense of kind of the vibe of the job, the top question on their application is, if you were a pixelated IKEA furniture, which would you be and why? Man, the next generation are living different. My first job interview question was like, why the fuck should we give you the job, boy? So I guess it's good to see that things are improving. Now, there is a catch. You do have to live in the UK and Ireland. Don't want to keep on getting sidetracked, but I just thought it was interesting because, like, is it Ireland or is it Ireland? Because anytime I say Ireland, which is the natural way that I would just normally say it, my girlfriend is like, why would you say it like that? Ireland. Why are you putting on an Irish accent? I'm not. That's just how you say it. Anyway, you have to live in those 2 countries, and the major key point is you have to be 18 years old or older. But considering that Roblox has about 77 million daily active users, I think this will be fine. Now, I'm not affiliated with this story at all because I've probably sworn in it a million times and said all sorts of outlandish shit. But for the hordes of people that do want to apply, I'll just chuck the link. Okay, get on task. Get on task! I'm putting the link in my description. Alex, cut all of that out. Just make it normal with your new AI tools. I know you can. Moving on. Did I say link was in description? I don't know. Okay, now let me just channel the anger in my Crocs. All right, let me channel the anger for this one because it really pissed me off. Damn, I don't use these. Now, I even predicted that this would happen. Alex, play the little clip for them that I predicted this would happen. It's almost as if they're allowing the user's experience on the basic version to get so bad with all the ads, the people who'll pay to show up on your feed but don't really have any good content, the frustrating commission posts, that at some point they'll just swoop in and say, you know what, we'll get rid of all the things you hate about it, and here's a gold, silver, and bronze package. If you're not paying for a product, you are the product. And at a time where ad spend on social media has just dropped for the first time, you best know that they'll be looking at new ways to replace the money that they've lost. So the question is social media something that you would pay for or not? What do we know? Because NEWSDADDY predicted this shit again. Because Instagram is now testing unskippable ads while you scroll. All right, let me put the crock down, okay? I think I overdid that one. Didn't need to be that angry. People all over the internet today have been posting screenshots of a new feature Instagram likes to call ad break. How fun! Can't wait to get an ad break. Which, what the f which sees users hitting the bottom of your feed and not being able to scroll any further until the timer runs out. Now, if everyone would like to draw their eyes to this point, which Alex is putting right by my finger right now, as you can see, there's about 4 seconds remaining and the timer isn't even hitting halfway, which suggests these unskippable ads can be about 8 seconds long or longer. And I mean, look, okay, it's bearable on YouTube because 8 seconds for a 30-minute, 20-minute video, that's fine. But on these short-form social media platforms, you know, what is 8 seconds when you're about to look at a post for 4 seconds and scroll? It ain't worth it. But hey, if this does get super annoying, which low-key I think Instagram does want, you can just pay them about $10 to $12 a month and get an ad-free version of Instagram, which would be way better for them if everyone did that. Just like I predicted. Alex, do you want to play a 3-second clip again? Just to tell them? And at a time where ad spend on social media has just dropped for the first time, you best know that they'll be looking at new ways to replace the money that they've lost. Anyway, so far, the reaction, as you'd imagine, has been overwhelmingly negative. But the real question is, what do you think? Is this a deal breaker for you on Instagram if they roll this out globally? Or are you just gonna be like, yeah, I'll deal with it. I'll waste my life on it. Moving on. Okay, so do you remember about last week we spoke about the North Korea trash balloons? Yeah, well also kind of like did I predict that or was I just worried about how it could go? Alex, play that clip again. Let's see what I said. I mean, just imagine getting into balloon wars and it escalates to World War III. But I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't know if I would be that surprised because like World War III, I feel like it would start because of something like that. That's just how the world is going right now. Anyway, that situation is escalating. And if this is how World War III begins, boy, I am going to get my crock out again. That's what you'll see just before a nuke hits. Anyway, South Korea has basically held an emergency meeting with all of their top officials to decide on how to respond after North Korea flew 1,000 balloons carrying bags full of trash and human waste across the border. And yeah, I said 1,000 because it was 260 on the first day, but then as days followed, the South Korean military found about 700 plus more. Oh man, where do you even get 1,000 balloons? Oh, I mean, I forgot, like one of their only trade partners is China, so. I think it's pretty easy. Now, South Korea's national security director said they've decided to take unbearable measures against North Korea. God damn, how many balloons are you about to fly back? No, sorry, they didn't specify what those unbearable measures would be, but those familiar with how the North and South Korea beef say that they believe that they will resume their frontline loudspeaker broadcast into North Korea that includes criticism of its human rights situation, world news, and I'm not kidding, K-pop songs. Oh man, you'll really show them with that. That's crazy, man. In Korea, they are just beefing different. Moving on. Actually, before we do, since we're on the theme of just being angry, I think it's time to unpackage the package. Okay, warning, this was the most PG whip I could find, so I am genuinely sorry if something really awkward and sus happens. Please don't be fluff on the end. I think we're good. Now that we are good, and this isn't gonna be a real sus whipping, you better get into... Whoa! What is that? It's a bullwhip from Smithy's. Oh Lord. You thought you were safe. You thought you couldn't like the video. Now, I am gonna get good at this, and boy, are you gonna hear the cracking of the whip. That was a little bit scary. Before I take my eye out, let me bring it to the people which actually deserve a whipping. Right, where's my list? Yes, I have a whip list, so everyone who liked and commented on the last video, you're safe. Bam, loud environment. It's just told me on my watch that my whip was so loud, it's exceeded 90 decibels. And it's saying about 30 minutes of that can cause temporary hearing damage. So not only are you going to get whipped, but you might get hearing damage. All right, let's start with the people that are not safe. Rena Wars, you're late, sir. Now, first of all, you never call me out for being late. And second of all, that was Alex's fault. So whip for you. Lashings for you. Who else? JN Jim Lee 449. Finally a video. That's it. If you... Finally, like you've been waiting for years. It was one day late, and it was Alex's fault. Whip for you, sir. I think we got a bit carried away. Oh no. Oh no. This is stuck. This is literally singed on. Maddie is gonna be so pissed at me. You know, my girlfriend handmade those things for me, and it took her so long. I've just broken it. Alex, should we cut this out? Look at this. It is like singed onto there. Ah, God damn it. What am I supposed to do now? Man, there were people that still needed to be whipped. Oh, how about, okay. Since my whip is out of order, you get croc beatings. Second best, Tijar DeWitt commenting for that whip resistant, and then you put an emoji. Like you're not supposed to like this. Top of my whip list. That'll teach you. It's the late edition. All right, I'm telling you, no more calling me out to be late. Christy X, that's what you get. Tech Jokes said, I'm on the comment section every week. Bro does not read my comment. I do actually see your comments, but with this one, you've brought far too much attention to yourself, and you shall expect a ferocious beating with a croc. Ha! Adham Turex says, commenting so Dylan doesn't hold my family captive again. Fair enough, I did hold your family captive because you didn't like, but for exposing my ruthlessness like that, top of the list. Now, there would have been far more, authoritative action taken in this, but as you can see, my whip is still kind of problematic. I will get my whip back in the next video, and there will be no resistance. There will be 20,000 viewers, and there will be 20,000 comments and likes. That's what we're aiming for. Okay, with the whipping out the way, let's move on. Back to reality, this story is massive. The Maldives have just announced that everyone from Israel is now banned from traveling there, making them the first country to institute a passport ban in response to the war in Gaza. In retaliation, Israel has told its citizens to leave the Maldives, including those with actual dual citizenship. Damn, that's right, yeah. I mean, if I was living there, I'd be like, I'm not going anywhere. Oh, and the US is getting involved, and they are trying to craft legislation at stopping this ban. The Maldives now joined 13 other countries which have long-standing bans on Israeli passport holders, stopping the roughly 11,000 of them who visit the country each year. And the thing is, it's not just the Maldives. Turkey recently imposed a ban on the import and exports of goods to and from Israel, which Israeli media said on Monday had resulted in significant shortages. British coffee chain Pret cancelled opening their first ever 40 cafes in the country. The French Defense Ministry didn't allow Israel to have a stand at their annual arms fair in Paris. And the largest sovereign wealth fund in the world, valued at $1.26 trillion, is now considering divesting from companies with interests in Israel. Damn. So, a lot is happening, and a lot is happening very quickly. So I'll have to keep you updated on this whole situation, but let's move on. Because I think that Messi may have just pulled off a wild marketing move, and I don't think people have caught on to it yet. Including my man KSI. Sorry, should I say my friend? We are friends. I hope we are. Anyway, as we've all probably seen by now, yesterday Messi launched Mas Plus, which is his hydration drink that means more in Spanish.
We're doing Spanish now.
And as soon as everyone saw what it looks like, the internet lost it. Comments started flooding in saying how it looks exactly like Prime. People started making videos, media outlets started writing stories, and even the co-founder of their inevitable main competitors, Prime, KSI, brought attention to this new drink by tweeting, "Looks familiar." And just like that, step one was complete. The world now knows it exists. You see, nowadays there's just so many new products dropping all the time that unless it's more than just a product, we don't even hear about 99% of them. And that's why Prime became the fastest selling drink of all time. Because alongside with selling a drink, they sold a story, and that story made you feel something, even if that something was positive or negative. And so think about it, if Messi comes along and he just drops yet another drink, what is there to talk about? What's the story? Why do you even really want to try it? But because they made it look so similar to Prime, but just different enough to make it really hard for them to sue, the amount of videos that we're about to see comparing Prime and Mas is going to be insane. Prime has already done all of the really hard work and got a lot of people to both love and hate them. But then Musk comes along, leverages all of that, and positions itself really cleverly to appeal to both. Because think about it, for everyone that hates Prime, they're going to want to scream from the rooftops that Musk is better. And if they love Prime, then hell yeah. I mean, more of what they love, but just with a little twist. But either way, both are paying to watch the fight. But I mean, even the fact that I'm interested enough to talk about this for, what was it, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes straight yapping, shows that they have done very well with attaching something to talk about with the product, which is key. And I mean, the great thing about having a whip is that you create such a good dynamic of fear and oppression that people won't be like, why are you talking about a drink for so long? Nope, because they're too scared to get a whipping. Or a crock beating. Nah, it'll be a whipping. Next time, that'll be fine. Anyway, let's crack on to the last story of the day. And this one, woo! It's kind of crazy. So, 5 coffins draped in French flags mysteriously appeared by the Eiffel Tower over the weekend. And the more digging that I did into this, the more I was like, damn, this is kind of unsettling. Now, the thing is, these coffins were actually just the latest symbol that mysteriously appeared in France recently. In October, the Star of David began appearing, spray painted on people's houses apparently to show where Jews lived. Then, red handprints appeared on the Holocaust Memorial in Paris on the anniversary of the first major roundup of French Jews under the Nazis. And now we have coffins, which had a message inside saying French soldiers in Ukraine. And here's the interesting thing. While initially, authorities thought that these were hate crimes, after questioning the people who they arrested related to these stunts, they realized that not only were these not hate crimes at all, but they were all connected. And their new leading theory is even more concerning. Now, stay with me here, because if you've seen the movie Leave the World Behind, which, key point, Barack and Michelle Obama were executive producers for, there's this scene where all of these red pamphlets are dropped out of the sky, and in Arabic writing it says, "Death to America," which leads the characters to believe that Iran was behind all of the crazy shit that was going on. But they later find out that in other areas, more pamphlets were dropped, but this time they were in Korean. It then turns out that all of this was actually just a part of a military maneuver to topple a country's government from within. An enemy country sows just enough disinformation, false flag events to create fear and confusion, and without a clear enemy, the country's public turns on each other. And if done successfully, the last stage of this military operation happens on its own, and that is civil war. Woo! Okay, back to reality now. And this is where it gets a little bit eerie. Authorities now believe that all 3 of these recent stunts had links to Russian intelligence. Damn. Now you gotta let that sit in for a second. And while you let that sit in, I'm gonna say I love you. I will get my whip ready for the next video, and I will see you on Monday. Boom, boom, boom. Woo!
Corn casserole.